it's not like a hive mind of what people think, like you merge, like, yes, you do merge and you have access to all things, but you keep, when you leave Darius, who I am now, all my thought processes that I'm having right now, when I leave my body, they stay the same. Everything stays the same. You just access more comes into you. You get more access to the unseen, etc.
Then this obviously has to take away any fear of death that people have. We decided, well, we're going to go in there and have a life, and maybe from the other side, maybe it only lasts a few seconds or a few minutes.
No, it feels like seconds when you, I remember the experience with Celeste at 16 when I was taken out of all things. Literally, my life here felt like 2 seconds. Like, you know, there's no, like, you remember, there's a sense of like, just like, okay, I'm back home. Like I'm here again.
So what about, do you get any sense of relationships or family when you're on the other side? Do you really feel like totally independent, or do you sense belonging to any kind of a group or family, anything like that?
Yeah, so you're connected to all things. So you know that there are certain beings, depending on what you have chosen to experience with, based off the experience, there's a history there. So there are beings on the other side, like the beings that have been in frequent contact with me when I'm out of my body. I don't know them because they're not here, but I know them because, you know, there's a deep knowing of all these beings that I'm communicating with. And that's the same thing on the other side. There are certain beings and entities there that you've known for, you could just say eternity, right? But when you're there, it's like, wait a second, I know you. And then all the stuff starts to come in slowly. But yeah, there's a connection to all things, but you do have individuality. It's just your ability to connect to souls, feel souls, because this is why I said before, like, we're all naked, right? Because like you could tap into that soul's pure energy like that. And all souls do that. It's like you just know the soul, like reading the book.
I feel like that at times, maybe when we're in that realm and we decide to come to a place like this, that maybe a bunch of us come at the same time. Do you have any other memories of other realms that you've experienced?
Yeah, I do. I've different memories, but it's more of you have the ability to create your pleasures, and let's just say your greatest pleasures and your greatest fears, because there's no limitation on you. So a lot of the things that you experience there are literally your manifestations of pleasures, and you create the realm to experience that. So a lot of the places that, like, when you're there, this realm construct in particular is the only one where we are experiencing the extreme of what we are not. But when you're over there, depending on you, the soul, you could have 100 different realms based off of thought forms that you want to experience, materialize there to have that experience. So yeah, there's many. And this is where also when people have dream spaces as well, or in the dream space where they are experiencing something pleasurable, it's because as above, so below, you still have that degree to do that here. But a lot of people don't know what the dream space is, which is typically you're manifesting a dimensional space within your field to experience either your pleasures or fears, etc., based off the emotions that you've been having.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. So what is deja vu?
Deja vu would be two ways to look at this. You're getting deja vu because, like I said before, when you are on the other side, all things are happening all at once. So certain event markers within this realm, like, you know, the preset things, and before you come in, you've known that, right? So deja vu could be lining up to a certain event marker where it's like, oh, deja vu, like this is something that I have known was going to happen. Could also be a potential, when you're dreaming as well, you tapping into a potential time event that was in your field that has been now put in, like you're actually walking it. Those are the things that I have around deja vu.
And then the other one sort of related to that is Mandela Effect.
Well, the Mandela Effect did happen. So That's basically when you look at, all right, so when you look at the Mandela Effect, we're just going to say two, because there's multiple, but we're going to say two different timelines. So we're on this path, and there's another path here running at the same time. They've pretty much merged together. So two time events merged together, and this is where you get still certain things. So it's just a merging of time. When you look at completion, right? So a realm the construct game coming to completion, things have to merge together into one timeline event. Like everything, it doesn't get, with a completion, right? It's like those, there's many different paths. Like there's no such thing as free will. There's many different paths that you could choose, but all those 1,000 different paths that you could have chosen in your life, the event marker within this realm, those paths will seem to go all over the place, like this direction loop here. But as you get closer to the final event marker, they converge together and they all hit that same point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's what we're experiencing right now. The time between lives and that we experience in the realm that you're talking about. You think we pick our parents and our family when we decide to come to a place like this?
Yes and no. I have that's a 100% certainty for me from accessing certain memories. Some souls maybe not, and I don't want to generalize, just my experience with the entirety of all souls, right? But I think that some souls that want to experience this or come in here like at a flip of a dime. They're like, okay, just that, it's like a quick decision versus some other souls that have a lot of memory of coming in here with a group, a group of people, like they call them soul family, stuff like that. And you've come in here all together. And when one of that group family starts to leave, it's like almost like a domino effect. Everybody, when they die, it's like bam, 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 bam. And then you have some souls here that are just like, they don't have a connection with many different souls, not even their parents. And I think that possibly it's because when coming into this realm, they've just said, I don't care. Just give me someone. I just want to incarnate him.
So yeah, just completely roll the dice on this one and just, wherever I land up, I end up. Yeah, it seems to me like it's a sort of a playground in some ways.
I'll tell you, you have a bunch of playgrounds on the other side. You actually have them in your dream space. But if you know how to control that, you can navigate when you're going to sleep, and you could be out experiencing, like I said, your greatest pleasures now, really.
But gives us all something to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
And okay, I've heard you talk about the void.
The void that's the beginning of all things. I'm gonna put this in two ways, so it's like going two different directions, but you'll see where I'm going. Here in the physical body, when you want to imagine something, right? Because it always starts with the thought, the spoken word. Right? When you want to imagine something and close your eyes, you start automatically. You're in the black space. You could say the void, right? It's black when you close your eyes. And then when you start to imagine something into creation, into your forefront of your mind, then you start to visualize, and then light is birthed. Light is birthed from the void within yourself. The beginning of all things is the black space, the void. Light is secondary. Light is birthed from the black space. It's black because it holds all the color, holds all the frequency, right? And so when you're in that space, the beginning of all things, when you want to create something, that's where you start. That's where you go. It's not necessarily a place that you travel to, your soul travels to, because it's within your soul. It's within each individual soul. But it's just like it's a space that you always remain and have always been. That's a place that creates all things. The extreme, the heaven and hell, the duality, all exists from there, right? When you want to create something for your soul to experience, you create it from within the black space, the void. You birth it into creation, and then your soul can have whatever experience, your pleasure, etc. that you want to have. It's peaceful there, and it's almost like the feeling. You're tuned in and you're tapped into all things, while at the same time it feels very, very empty. It's like that dichotomy there. It's like, you're feeling both at the same time. Just peaceful.